What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, I've actually heard of these guys, I think I have. Making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Snarky Puppy. Yes, indeed, how about that? Snarky Puppy making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi-bob, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Metal Nonsense. All one word, I kid you not. Metal Nonsense wanted to see me react to this song by Snarky Puppy called Lingus.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, hold it, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Ground Up Music NYC, okay? And the video has 31.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Snarky Puppy, Lingus. And in parentheses, we like it here. That was not in my notes for the request, but that might be part of the song. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it's there now, so we're just gonna go with it. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Clean horns. Wait. It can't be. Okay, after some checking, for a second, I thought I knew this cat. He looks like someone I know. He looks like someone I played with for years in high school jazz band, actually. I thought that might be Dan Bechtel, but I don't think it is. I did some looking. I didn't see him in the list of members. So, but I had a moment there where I was like, Dan? No way. Anyway, 5/4. They're making this work they're making this groove happen in 5/4, and I am here for it all day long and night as well. It's got a nice feel, playing with straight time and double time, switching between like that 5/4 feel with the slow tempo, and then, you know, doubling it up and still maintaining. I like that. The bass work sounds nice. I like what's happening with the bass. The drummer, I mean, okay, before anybody asks, yes, I know it's Larnell Lewis. I got that already. Love seeing him back on the channel again. Guitar playing, it's interesting to hear some of the unison lines happening within the left-hand keyboard, the left-hand synthesizer, and the bass at the same time. Very clean. Big shout out to the horns. The man, they are super clean, super tight. That sounds fantastic. Loving everything I'm hearing. You got the funk. You got, you definitely got the funk happening without question. It's almost like a progressive jazz. You got jazz elements for sure. You got funk elements. You got some rock elements in there. You got a little bit of soul elements in there. It's across the board, man. It's good stuff. I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. This is my first time actually hearing Snarky Puppy. I've heard of them. I've heard the name. I just don't know where I've heard the name. I think maybe some associates of mine have, you know, listened to them or, you know, gone and, you know, checked them out before. I'm not sure, but I know I've heard the name Snarky Puppy. But I'm glad to see I finally actually get to hear what they do. And I gotta say, I'm impressed so far with what I'm hearing. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens here. I got the Chick Korea thing going. I like it. He can't believe it either. Dang, Larnell. Woo! Woo! Man. Someone get a hose and hose that guy down. Seriously. Someone hose that keyboard player down. He's on fire. Someone call the fire department. My goodness. Wow. my goodness. Well, that just happened, didn't it? Wow. I love songs like this that just kind of leave me a little bit speechless. Like I'm not really sure how to convey and how to say what I want to say. I need to think about it. So let me get my thoughts together. It's going to take a while. I will see you all in the review, and I will try to talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Snarky Puppy with Lingus. This was a request from Metal Nonsense. Okay, that just happened, didn't it?
Alrighty then.
I'm still a little bit of a loss for words. I'm gonna try my best to get through this review while maintaining a certain level of ability to speak and get what I want to say out without stumbling over myself like a complete drunkard fool. But I'm not gonna make apologies if that does happen though. So I'm just saying right now, brace yourselves, folks. Okay. Should I give this? Yeah, I kind of have to give the score first. Otherwise, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. So let's start off with the score first. On a scale of 1 to 10, oh yes indeed, and they earned every single point of this. I'm going to give that a 9.4. Yep, 9.4. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I feel this song deserves. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 9.4. What does that mean? Well, a 9.4 would translate to an outstanding, amazing, impressive job, because that is exactly what we got here. It would also give 5 out of 5 stars and an A+ letter grade. So there you go, a 9.4, outstanding, amazing, impressive score, scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars and an A+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Boy, I am so glad you asked. This was amazing. I've never heard anything from Snarky Puppy before. I've heard of the band. I know of their existence. I've heard of them a long time ago. I've known about their existence for a while. And I knew Larnell Lewis was their drummer, and I believe he still is to this day. And I already know the type of drummer that Larnell Lewis is. So I had a slight idea of what I was getting into with this reaction. A slight idea, a little bit of an idea, not even close. I mean, like I said, I kind of have an inkling, but I didn't know exactly what I was in for. And man, this knocked my socks off. I'm going to start in a weird place. I'm going to start with that horn section. Man, those horns, let me tell you, that was some clean playing on their part. When they were playing in unison, they were playing syncopated, it was tight. It sounded like one voice. It sounds like you took a keyboard and you assigned 4 horn voices to each key. So each key had 4 voices going up or down the keyboard, didn't matter where, but they were that in sync with each other. They were that clean, that precise. When they would split and they'd be playing various, counter lines and harmonic lines to each other, it still sounded full, it still sounded good, it still sounded conducive to each other. Even when you had, like, at points where you had the trumpet against the tenor sax, both doing kind of a little solo line, they were still, what's the word I'm looking for? Complementary to each other, I guess is the best way to put it. Neither soloist would step on the other one's toes. Each of their solos stood out. Even when they were soloing together, they still were able to stand out from each other without stepping on each other, which is not easy to do. They did a fantastic job across the board. Tip of the cap to all of those horn players. Let's talk about the rhythm section. Let's talk about the bass and the drums in particular. Man, okay, first of all, the bass player is rock solid, man. Absolutely rock solid. And he's got some chops because, I mean, when I heard the unison line with him and the synthesizer going together at the same time, doing the runs they were doing, man, it sounded great. It sounded fantastic. Super clean, right in sync with each other. And then as soon as he was done, where did he go? Right back into the groove again. Very, very rock solid, tasteful bass playing. And this is coming from a bass player, so you know it's legit. I mean, he is a legit bassist without question. I have no idea who he is, but I probably should, you know, after I'm done, I should probably do some research on him now that I've done a reaction to them and see what he's about, because he's, man, you can set a watch to him. Larnell Lewis, I really don't need to talk at length about him. You've already heard by, I mean, if you watch the reaction to him doing Enter Sandman, you already know I have a lot of respect for the guy as a drummer. He's got great feel, great aptitude. He has a great way of interpretation and application. You know, listening to something like Enter Sandman, for example, listen to that, which is clearly a little bit outside of his, you know, usual gig, but able to interpret it the way that he did and apply it the way that he did on the fly. That is not easy to do. And to see him in his element playing this, that was fun. The smile on his face never left. He was smiling the whole time. He was relaxed the whole time, even though he's playing this groove in, you know, 10/4 or 5/4, and just, you know, he's laying down this groove. Man, let me tell you something, folks. 5/4, 5/4 time signature. I was gonna save this for later, but let's talk about it now. 5/4 time signature, not an easy time signature to establish a groove in. I mean, just off the gun, you know, right out the gate, it's not the easiest, because it's like playing a funk in 3 or playing a funk in 7. It can be done, sure, but it takes a little time to develop. Usually, it takes you a little practice to get used to it. They're coming right off the gun and going right into it, and the funny thing is, they established that 5/4 right away. It was easy to find. I did not have to search very hard to find where they were. I think within the first 10 seconds, I'd figured out, okay, we're in 5/4. Okay, that's great. I love that. And they're making it smooth, very, very smooth groove. And that is primarily due to the bassist and Larnell working together in conjunction with each other. But of course, every single voice has a say in this. And all it takes is one voice to throw the groove off, you know? If, you know, the keyboard player or one of the trumpets or one of the guitars all of a sudden loses that 5/4 groove, well, the whole thing's going to start to steamroll and train wreck. So everybody did a great job of staying on point. Everybody did a great job counting. Everybody did a great job staying on point with the groove. Even when we changed time signature, don't think I didn't catch that. When we changed from 5/4 and went into that 4/4 during the keyboard solo, it's actually a little bit before the keyboard solo kicked in. That's where we actually switched to 4/4. Don't think for a second I didn't catch that. It was interesting to hear everybody lock into the new time signature almost instantly. I mean, it was just, and I think that's one of the reasons why it sounds so smooth, is they all transition seamlessly. Not always easy to do, going from 5/4 to 4/4. It can be a little jarring, you know, losing an entire beat, especially when you're counting along at 5/4 and all of a sudden we're in 4/4 and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? You know, I never felt that. When it went into the 4/4, it was very gentle. It was very nice. It was very smooth, and I absolutely dug that. The guitar playing sounded really crisp, very clean. I liked that, what was going on there. The string players I saw sitting in the center, I didn't see a single string player play, so I guess for this performance on this particular song, they laid out, and they were utilized in other songs. It's fine. I mean, if they, as long as they play something, you know, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they weren't just sitting there for their health. I'm sure in other songs prior to that song, or maybe even after that song, they are used, but For this song, they were just sitting there chilling, and I was like, okay, well, that's the thing, I guess. And it was fine though. It didn't hurt the song. It didn't help the song. It is what it is. Big shout out to that keyboard player. My goodness, somebody hose him down. He's on fire with that solo section, man. Good Lord. I love how his solo developed too. Starting out very simple, very sparse, and then growing and growing and growing to the point where I was ready to start seeing his keys start to get stuck together because they were melting. It was a great solo, man, across the board, start to finish. I got zero complaints about it. I was thinking to myself at first, I was like, this feels like it's going on a little long. But, you know, with what he was doing, let him fly, man, let him fly. It's all good. Let him go on as long as he wants, as long as he keeps, you know, ripping out the riffs the way that he's doing. Let him do his thing. No, across the board, this was fun. This was a great listen, man. And not only was it a great listen, it was a lot of fun to see how it came together, to see how everybody interacted with each other, you know, during the process of playing the song. Everybody looking at certain individuals, and, you know, seeing where they're going to go and, you know, what's happening, where are we going to go next? And, you know, you see that communication. It's really fun. For those of you that have never been in a band this size, it's really interesting to see, you know, and from my own personal experience, it's always fun to kind of watch other band members and, you know, they make eye contact with you, and next thing you know, there's 3 or 4 of you all making contact with each other, and you all give each other that nod, and 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, you go into the next section, you know. It's fun to see how large bands like this can communicate with each other without saying a word. It's just something that you develop, you know, your eyes, the way you smile, you give each other a little wink, right? Here we go, ready? And boom, moving on, you know, to the next section. Or whatever the case may be, going back to the beginning, you know, or, you know, we're gonna modulate it, and you can do it with just a look. You don't even have to communicate with words. It's fun. It is a lot of fun. I love playing in large groups like this. It is a lot of fun, especially when you've been playing together for a long time. You know, you've been playing together for like 6 to 8 months, even longer than that if you can, 2-3 years. You really get a handle on that kind of communication. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to wrap it up, while that keyboard solo was going, couldn't help but notice the bass player, Larnell, the guitar players, all doing the vamping. And vamping. And vamping. And I know this sounds silly, and I know this is going to sound far-fetched, but hear me out, okay? It's very repetitious to play like that and vamp, and vamp, and vamp, and play the same riff over and over and over, especially when it's just like 2 or 3 notes. You know, it's very repetitious. Let me tell you, it is very, very easy to lose focus and space out, go on autopilot, and the next thing you know, all of a sudden you snap back to reality, and it's like, oh no, where are we? These guys stayed focused. They did not go on autopilot. They were watching each other, and they were vamping focused on point the entire time. That is not easy. I'm going to tell you right now it's not, because I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me where we're vamping and we're vamping and we're vamping. And all of a sudden I'll wake up and I'll be like, and I'm not that I actually fell asleep, but I zoned out. And then I snap back into reality. I'm like, oh, criminy. Okay, well, we're still playing this. So I guess we're good, but where are we? I mean, the vibes player's back there, you know, soloing still, or the guitar player's over there soloing still. And I look at the drummer, and the drummer looks at me. He'll usually mouth, you know, 48! We're at measure 48. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it's very easy to space out when you are vamping like that, and just repetitious. And I didn't get a sense that any of these guys zoned out. So another kudos to the rhythm section for staying on point, I guess. So yeah, you take all these things together, plus the fact that they're playing this in a live setting, not easy to do. It's not like they're in the recording studio. No, they're playing this live. You get one take and one take only, and they knocked it out of the park. Taking all these factors into account, this is how I came up with the 9.4. This was impressive. If anybody ever asks me, you know, I'm giving like, how can you give my favorite band an 8.3? What do you call a 9? This is what I call a 9. And I'm sorry, but you know, your favorite band playing a 3-chord song, I'm sorry, is just not going to compare to this, you know? There's just no comparison. So yeah, 9.4, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 9.4, which is an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.